Bill,
Hey.
how has West Virginia changed since the first meeting?
Gary, I think, they're playing smaller. They lose a talented big, and like they did, and I think their team actually got better. They're putting more shooters on the court. They're playing faster offensively. They're definitely pressuring more than what they did when they were playing two bigs. So they look more like the West Virginia that we've seen the last several years than what I thought they looked like, just because of the lineups they had out there the first time we played them.
Hey, Coach, did you see the videos of the Defend KU rally going on outside Allen Fieldhouse during the Kansas State game, and what were your thoughts?
I don't know what you're talking about, so I haven't heard one thing about a Defend KU rally. Somebody would need to educate me on that, I guess, when we get done with this.
Hey, going back to the topic of two bigs, maybe this is at West Virginia before Oscar left. Maybe this is a question for a few years ago, but do you think two big basketball, traditional basketball, is kind of just gone?
No, I think people play to their strengths. I do think that the line has changed everything so much, but it's even changed it. The line has still played such a important role just in the last 10 years on and how people have adjusted and played to take advantage of individual talents and driving the ball. And teams are still playing inside out. They're just playing inside out off the bounce rather than the pass. So there's and certainly we've been really good at that over time. Not as good this year, but other years we've been great at attacking the paint as much off the bounce as we did when we threw it inside. So I don't want to say exactly what the next trend will be, but to say that it's a thing of the past, I think would be an exaggeration. But we do want bigs that can shoot. But I think that would still be something that would work quite well.
Hey, when you first got Ochai, did you envision or believe that he could become the shooter that he has become? Did you see that in him early?
You know what? I probably did. But I thought that there's some things mechanically that he had to do to change a little bit. He used to have a real, if you broke it down, he had a very, very subtle, real quick pause at the top, which made it a two-piece shot instead of a one-piece shot. And he corrected that this summer. And his shot is as tight and compact as just about anybody we've had. So he's really worked hard on it, gotten his release quicker, and has become a very, very, very good shooter. I think the best shooter we've had here of recent memory would be Svi, but he's becoming. I don't want to say pure, but he's getting closer to pure all the time.
Hey, Coach, could you discuss the importance of playing through the bigs? Obviously, what kind of role McCormack has been playing as of late?
Well, obviously, with most teams, you're going to have at least one big you have to defend. And certainly with West Virginia, that's definitely the case with Culver. So, to me, if you look at David's role, you could look at it on that end first. And I believe he's become a better ball screen defender and a much better defender in general. I'd like to see him rebound the ball defensively better. And then offensively, I think we're able to throw it to him, and he's kind of figuring out where his spots are and best place to catch it without having to bounce and all those sorts of things. And we are wanting to play through him. As much as we throw the ball to our bigs, and I'm not saying we do as much as we used to, but as much as we attempt to try to do that, I see David. It's important for him to be able to score, 15 a game or plus. So it's very important that we play through David, in my opinion.
How much have you seen him improve as an offensive rebounder? Seems like he's kind of finding that a little bit right now.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think without getting too giddy, and I don't have the stats in front of me statistically on what he's doing or whatnot, but our team hasn't rebounded the ball well offensively of late. We were so bad in defensive transition for a while that we put such an emphasis on that. I think it created and a situation where guys are more worried about getting back than they are crashing. So that shouldn't necessarily impact David as much as it would the guards, but certainly maybe it has a little bit. And we got to be able to do both. West Virginia is a team that we actually hurt them quite a bit on the offensive glass the first time we played them, in large part because long shots meant long rebounds, and we were able to run a lot of them down. But I think David's getting better. I do think he's getting better, but his rebounding numbers, whether on either end, though, Matt, I don't think it's where it needs to be yet, even though he is getting better.
What are your thoughts on Frank Mason signing a two-way deal with Orlando, and talk about his fit with that organization?
Well, I don't know exactly the fit. If I'm not mistaken, Markelle Fultz had a very serious injury and he's out for the season, and Cole Anthony seems to be playing a lot. And I don't know who their other guards are in their organization. But I text with Frank. Frank texted me back this morning early, and he'll be very excited, and they'll get a very good player. All he needs is an opportunity. And if he gets minutes and gets an opportunity, he'll show everybody he belongs in the league. But I think on the surface, to me, it looks like a good spot. And I've talked to people within the organization, and they're very happy about having him. So I think he's going to be in a good place. But him getting a two-way now, it's so much different with the two-way today than it was before. So that guarantees him that from a financial standpoint, he get through the year and make some money, and hopefully he'll play well enough that they keep him up there full time.
Bill, you said
I'm
early in the
sorry.
season that you thought Jalen was the most aggressive player you guys had offensively. Do you still see that same aggression from him?
I probably do. I do think he's the most aggressive as far as, if you're looking at shooting the ball, driving the ball, making plays, getting downhill. I do think he's probably the most aggressive. If Bryce was out there, I think you can maybe make a case for Bryce if he got the same number of minutes and opportunities. But I don't think that Jalen has played as well as what he was earlier. But I thought he played aggressively and played better against K-State. So I'm looking, I'm looking for him to have a great, stretch run, so to speak. He's still just a freshman. You can't expect freshmen to be great each and every game. And of course, people scout and they start to kind of figure guys out, and you got to kind of adjust. And he's in that adjustment process. But I do think I would still consider him probably the most aggressive guy we got.
Yeah, back when you guys first played West Virginia, you guys were able to knock down the three ball a lot as well throughout the night. With West Virginia now going to that four guards around one with Oscar Tshiebwe, do you think that'll be the key going forward?
No, I don't. West Virginia, the vast majority of the second half and into the first half played zone, and in the zone is when we got up a lot of threes.
Sure.
I think we were like 16 to 35 or 36, something like that. So that's an awful lot for our teams to shoot. But they were there in large part because they're zone, and they're not going to play as much zone. And if they do play zone, I guarantee they're going to get the shooters. So I don't see that. I mean, it's always important to make shots regardless of who you're playing or where or styles. But I don't see us getting that same number of opportunities from behind the arc this game.
Hey, Coach, what's the greatest piece of coaching or life advice you've ever received?
That's kind of off the I don't know about the greatest piece. I'm just trying to think of anything that just comes to mind right now. But I've always thought, you have to coach within your personality and who you are. I love the expression, it's a good or a bad shot when it leaves your hand, not if it goes in or not. I think that helps coaches coach, those sorts of things. One thing I think your philosophy can be tweaked year to year, but you can never, ever compromise your philosophy. There's a lot of things like that I think are very true, that certainly have withstood the test of time.
You've asked your players to do their part, to be responsible as far as staying safe and healthy so that we can have a full basketball season. How much does it mean just from a mental space for them to have students back on campus?
You know what? I think it's got to be positive. It's got to be positive. There will be more energy on campus because it's been dead. It's been dead everywhere, but there'll be more energy on campus, I think, which creates to, obviously a little excitement. I still think it's, here's all these people on campus, but we still don't want you to hang out with them type attitude, which will make it hard. But I do think, 6 months is a long time to basically put yourself in a bubble. And we've asked these guys to do that. And for the most part they have. But we're talking about limited time left to have to complete it. So even though we've been really fortunate so far and we've been good so far, the most important time is still ahead of us. And we have to, not slip up, and we've got to stay pretty focused.
Before he had the finger injury, it seemed like Bryce Thompson earned some trust from you early this season. I'm just curious what he did to show you that, and I guess why you felt comfortable playing him late in some games.
Well, I think. Well, first of all, he's going to be a really good player, and if he hadn't got hurt, you guys would see just how much he'd be playing and how much trust we'd have. Probably should have played him more than what we actually did. Up until Christmas. But he's had such a bad run since December 27th when he gets hurt to now, and it'll probably be at least another week before he'll be able to go. And I'm hopeful that's the case. That's probably best wishful thinking, but I just think he's a good player, and he always tries to do what we want, even if it's not always perfect the way he does it. But there is an attempt to do that, and he has some ability to offensively to create some space and get his own shot. So I think it's been a pretty big loss not having Bryce personally, and I certainly hope he's healthy enough that he can finish the season strong, because he's there hadn't been anybody that's been hurt that's been more in tune to everything going on and trying to do everything they possibly can to get back faster than what he has.
Was he further along defensively than you expected him to be when he got up here?
I don't know. I don't know. I thought he was a pretty good defender. I thought he'd be a pretty good defender before he got here. But that may be a stretch to say further along, but he was definitely right on pace where we hoped he would be.
Can he shoot yet on his own?
No. He's we're hopeful, Gary, that we can get the release on him sometime early next week, where he can go back to doing things full speed. I don't think there's any problems with the fear of re-injuring it or anything like that. I think the problem is that he still doesn't have full range of motion.
Hey, Coach. Last night, 5 ranked teams fell to their opponents, one being OSU losing to TCU. Does this affect or help planning for Monday night's game?
No. Well, first of all, OSU wasn't ranked, but they were ranked 26. They would have been isn't that right, Chris? They were the first team. So were they ranked in another poll? 24. Oh, so they were. They were. My apologies. You were right. There were 24 in the coaches poll. So my apologies. So no, that didn't change anything. I mean, at all. It wouldn't change anything if a team was ranked, not ranked, any of that stuff. I don't see anything. And right now, as much as I would like to say that we're thinking 2 weeks out in front and all those things, we're worried about West Virginia, and we'll worry about Okie State whenever the West Virginia game's over, and we'll start prepping our guys for that. Certainly they'll be scouted by the time we leave for West Virginia. The scout will be done. All those things. The only thing we'll have left to do is watch them play on Saturday. But as far as prep for them, winning or losing, and how they lost won't have anything to do with our prep.
One more, guys. There was a lot of talk the other night about, that win against K-State, getting you back on track, and then trying to build on that and sustain that. What's the biggest key? What do you want to see the most on Saturday that maybe will give you guys a chance to stack up a few wins here?
Well, Saturday. Well, we're going to play a team that's ranked higher than us in their building, a team that we've struggled winning it. So, I mean, we got to go there, and it's got to be a fist fight. We got to rebound the ball, and we got to take care of the ball. Those would be the two things that I'd say jump out at me more than anything else. And those have always been the keys to beating Bob's teams, at least since he's been in the league at West Virginia. So that would be how do we take care of the ball against pressure, and how do we rebound the ball? That'll go a long ways in determining who wins the game.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.